Barrister Mbeseha, another evidence that shows the forthcoming French Cameroon selection is a selection. Now, I want to get your extra thoughts on this.
Well, uh, I think the only thing that I want to comment on is what Akarimuna is doing. And for purpose of this discussion, I want to give Akarimuna the benefit of the doubt and forget about his father, what his father did or what his father did not do. Akarimuna is an old man by age, he's 70 something years old. He's a very well educated gentleman, he's a lawyer. He has lived in Yaoundé most, if not all his life. So he knows the system, or he's supposed to know it. The question that I don't find an answer, which he has to convince many people, is why does Akarimuna think that he can be relevant now? What has changed from what Akarimuna is supposed to know if he didn't know in Cameroon politics, in elections? What has changed? Let us be reminded that in 2018, Akarimuna was a candidate for this very same presidential elections. He was a candidate. At the last moment, last minute, he supported Kamto. Kamto was dished out. They claimed he did not win, but they didn't leave him alone. They took him to Kondengi and locked him up for daring to say that there was something wrong with the elections. The Kondengi is in Yaoundé. Akarigi is in Yaoundé. Kamto and all his supporters were jailed for as long as they wished. And so again, the question is, what has changed? Why is Akari thinking that he's going to do? What is different between what Akari is going through now and what Nifrodi went through in 1992? In 1992, Akari was in Yaoundé. He had already been a bâtonnier. Akari, Mr. The other candidate won the elections. And of course, Nifrodi won, of course. What happened to his victory? It was stolen. Akari was there as a lawyer, he saw it, all of us saw it. He has admitted that he did not win. So how does Akari think that it can be relevant? To me, Akari is just trying to look important, to look relevant in the process that he cannot change anything. Because the same questions Akarimuna is putting now, the issues he's raising now, were raised just 2 weeks ago, before the same Supreme Council, Constitutional Council. The issues were raised by Thierry Onana, a CPDM candidate, who said the same thing. Bia is not qualified. He has not heard the Supreme Council for Magistracy forever. He has not had a cabinet meeting forever. He has not even organized his own party convention to become a candidate. These same issues were raised by Thierry Onana just 2 weeks ago, before the same Constitutional Council, and they were thrown out without more. So why does Akari think that the same Constitutional Council will be different? He knows that he's not going to win. That's very clear. And they asked, why did Akari at the time not constitute himself into a legal advocate for Thierry Onana to argue the same issues which he's trying to argue now? He also was a candidate. Yes. And then they saw somebody being maneuvered to become a candidate. That was the appropriate time for him to join Thierry Onana, a CPDM guy, to raise these very issues for them to be resolved once and forever. They would have been resolved then, as they were resolved. They would not have come back to it now, because the same answer will come from what they got last time. And so I think Akari is just trying to be relevant where he is not relevant. He's just trying to show something. Is he trying to get the vice presidency? Is he trying to get any post? I doubt it. Because Akere as an individual, he doesn't need those things. He has more than enough money for himself. His problem is not money. From his law practice and from his other thing that he does, he makes enough money for himself, I guess. And so the question we must ask is, why is he doing this? Can it be an unconscious agent of deviation or distraction? Because they will always quote the see people over there, say the one and go from vice president. That's why they are supporting Akerimuna, which is the total distraction. And go from vice president to represent what? Akere should ask himself. What would that Anglophone vice president for 2025 be different from what his father was the vice president? Remember, Estimuna was made the vice president in 1968. They dismissed Foncha and made him vice president. He remained vice president until 1972 when they abolished the post and made him second in command as the Speaker of the National Assembly. He was still sitting there, vice president. He was still sitting there when they dished him out, his father. And so, what other office can somebody like a ceremony think that an Ambazonian or an Anglophone would ever hold this regime? Is he an accomplice to all what is going on to us? I think so. That's my opinion. Because Akerimona has fought the Green Core case, the case of stolen oil money from Cameroon. And I've said here many times before, Akere has never fought for the right of the people of India over that same oil which is being stolen. The oil comes from India, the oil comes from Ambazonia, it is filtered to Douala, stolen and sold abroad. And I've always doubted how many Indian children even work in the so-called refinery. Where are the offices of the Indian people in particular and Ambazonian by extension? Why has Akere Money never raised any of these issues? Even from Yaoundé where he sits, he sees something very wrong if they steal the money from Cameroon. He sees nothing wrong if they stolen from Dian. He sees nothing wrong if they stolen from Bakassi or from Amazonia. And so I think that this looks like some manipulation. Otherwise, it is for him to explain why. What is the difference? What is the difference between what is happening in Yaoundé to Ambazonians and what is happening in Yaoundé to Indian people, to the Bakassi people? And let's not forget, in 2010, there was what we call the Bakassi Agreement, the Green Tree Agreement, where after years of war, they signed an agreement. What was essentially the agreement? The Cameroon government agreed to take development to that area, the Bakassi Peninsula, develop it to a level that people can live there and don't claim to be Nigerians or anything else. Have they done that? No. They have continued to exploit the oil from there. But the development that they promised officially in the Green Tree Agreement of 2010, which Green Tree was witnessed by the United Nations, Kofi Annan, was witnessed by the American government, was witnessed by France and the UK. They have never respected it. And again, we remember just a few months ago, what happened in Debatu. Debatu is India. That way they were able to kidnap and capture a prefect, sous-prefect. Take him away in a flying boat, just a boat. This guy did not even have a flying boat to attempt to rescue him there. All the oil from there, is that what they could not buy somebody a flying boat to rescue himself in Debatu? No. Why? Why? You must ask yourself. That gentleman is a man from Amazonia. And I think I said this before. Another gentleman from our own area was sent to Debatu. He didn't even arrive there. He was killed in the 2000s. He was simply killed. He was also going there as a sous-prefect. And so, again, one must have no answers for what Akere is doing. They left for him to do what he does. But one thing is sure, he's sure in his heart of hearts that he, Akere, can never be president of Cameroon. Neither can any Ambazonian. It's not me saying it. They have said it from Yaoundé, jamais un anglophone a étudié. So he's just trying to make himself relevant where he's not relevant at all. Akere can better be relevant doing something professionally than claiming to be in politics. That would never pay him. It would rather expose him to be a double agent. Over to you.
Oh well, Barrister Mbeseha, it's funny how they know, but they still make trials. Probably that's why President Sako referred to opposition as mere actors.